I'm Florence and I am the founder of RED-Scue, and today you are in my kitchen where all of the magic happens, and I'm going to be answering some FAQs because we've had a couple questions about our bars and I wanted to share a little bit more about it. I'm also meant to be doing more creative videos, so I'm hoping that this will help with this, but we'll see. Okay, so let's start. So, what is RED-Scue? Well, at RED-Scue, we are the first fufu-powered bar for underfueled athletes, active people who are training loads, but they might not be eating enough to meet their demands of training and daily life, work. So it's not just for athletes. What we mean by athlete is anyone who moves, which is literally anyone. So we have our energy bars, which I will show you an example. So these are our energy bars. They're great. You can throw them around. They're not going to turn into something like a banana or a crumbly bar or a gel. And this is a Belvita example. Dropped it the other day. Gels are sticky and I just can't bear the texture of stickiness. Nature Valley, same as Belvita. These bars I bought the other day. It's oh my gosh. Okay, they've got some kind of, they're a bit like a Misfits or something bar. Oh my gosh. And all of the top fell all over the floor. So the little, what are they called? Confetti. And also when I break the bar, I'm going to have to do this over this, otherwise. That to me looks slightly questionable. So this isn't me hating on bars. I think there's a place and a time for any bar. But our bars don't break. And they most certainly do not go brown like a banana. This is a questionable looking banana. And they're great. You can drop them and nothing will happen to them. We have 5 flavors. We have chocolate chip, caramel, vanilla, orange and lemon. I'd say our most popular at the moment is the salted caramel. So, why did I create RED-Scue? So I used to be a Spanish national athlete, and then I tore my Achilles just very much out of the blue. I was set to go on a D1 scholarship, and yeah, then I tore my Achilles and I couldn't go, and it was the most disappointing moment of my life, and also the most confusing, because sport had been something, you know, it was my entire life. I was ready to have it as a career and be able to work with a team and a great coach in the US, and I was verbally signed and I just couldn't go in the end. And it broke me mentally, physically, because I had no answers. I didn't know at the time that I had been very much chronically underfueling and overtraining. I wasn't underweight, so no one had really picked it up. And this is something called relative energy deficiency in sport. When you're really underfueling for the amount of work that you're doing. I was doing my A-level exams, I was running, I was training, we were moving house at the time. I just moved back from Spain to the UK, and I had so much change going on, and that had created so much stress that it had really impacted me mentally and physically, and led to my torn Achilles. So at the time, I was looking out there for help, and there was no help out there available. I went to my GP, I was put on the contraceptive pill, and it kind of masked all the symptoms that I had, but I suffered really badly with IBS. I was in the hospital with presumed appendicitis, which in the end, you know, I was released, but it was stress related. And the big point is that there was, you know, the advice that I was given really was, you know, to go on the contraceptive pill. In the end, I found out I had relative energy deficiency in sport. It's a word that, you know, it wasn't talked about as much in 2021, 2022. And after many scans, many clinical visits, I was given the generic advice to eat more and train less and reduce my training and see if that would help. Because of the contraceptive pill, I'd re-torn my Achilles and I'd also torn my meniscus on my other leg from overcompensating and from not wanting to change up my sport, because it was my routine. I loved my routine. I didn't want to change what I was doing. And, you know, eat more, train less. I didn't change much, to be honest. I was given a list of foods, you know, the usual, the have more porridge, have more snacks, eat more, but there wasn't really a specific. And then, I'm gonna move you around. I found out the fact that 95.8% of athletes with REDs, or not with REDs, and 95% of athletes in general are underfueling on carbohydrates. And it's something called LCHA, low carbohydrate availability, and it is the leading macronutrient cause of REDs. And the four main deficiencies in REDs are vitamin C, D, iron, and calcium. And that's where the idea for RED-Scue came, because there was nothing out there that met all of those requirements and wasn't made from your normal oats. So we all know oats. We all have them in our cupboard because they're, you know, they're seen as, I'd say oats and protein powder. There's, you know, there's a massive craze now with trends, and it's been ultra high protein and keto. But the one thing that's kind of stuck around for energy bars is oats. But I was living off of oats. I was living off of protein powders, supplements, pills. I was living off of many different pills, and my gut just wasn't improving at all. I went low FODMAP. I stopped eating a lot of foods because of my gut health, and really that restriction just made it a lot worse. And then I discovered something called fufu. And it is an ancient superfood, and it's used in Kenya and in North Africa and West Africa for training and daily life. And I first learned about it when I was training in the south of Spain, and that is what we include in our bars because it's very easy on the gut, it's very simple to digest, and it means that you don't just have to keep living off of oats, which is something that is in 71.8% of products are oat-based. And when you're struggling with your gut, trying to find an alternative snack that isn't ultra high protein, isn't low calorie, but has everything that you need with all of the macros and the micros for when you've been really underfueled, but your gut isn't working with you, is exactly why we built RED-Scue.